The entire staff of the Harrington estate had grown used to the quiet presence of little Lily, the maid Rosa's 1-year-old daughter, who never smiled at anyone, never reached out, never let anyone except her mother hold her, as if the world outside Rosa's arms simply did not exist. People whispered that maybe the child was traumatized, maybe she had seen something terrible, or maybe she was just born fearful, but Rosa only lowered her eyes, saying nothing, hiding a pain buried so deep even she struggled to breathe through it. Then, one stormy morning, when billionaire Ethan Harrington returned home after months of business travel, everything changed. Ethan was known as a distant, cold, work-obsessed man whose heart had seemingly frozen ever since his fiancée vanished without explanation 2 years earlier, leaving him shattered and alone. But the moment he walked into his study and saw Rosa dusting the bookshelves with little Lily on her hip, something unexpected happened. The baby, who had avoided every human touch for a whole year, suddenly leaned toward him. Before Rosa could react, Lily stretched out her tiny hand, touched Ethan's cheek gently, and smiled, as if she already knew him, as if she had been waiting for him all along. The entire room froze. Rosa gasped. Ethan blinked in disbelief. Babies didn't approach him. People didn't approach him. Yet this little girl had chosen him. I'm so sorry, sir, Rosa stuttered, pulling Lily back, but Lily refused to let go, tiny fingers clinging to Ethan's tie with a strength no one expected. She giggled, an angelic sound the staff had never heard before. Ethan felt something crack inside his chest, a warmth he'd forgotten existed. "It's okay," he whispered, his voice trembling, lifting Lily as if she were made of glass. The baby rested her head on his shoulder with a softness so familiar it made his heart pound. Rosa looked terrified, and Ethan noticed. "Rosa, why is she comfortable with me?" he asked quietly. Rosa swallowed hard. "I don't know, sir," she whispered, but her eyes said something else, fear, guilt, and a secret she had carried far too long. Over the next days, Ethan found himself drawn to the child. Lily crawled to him, reached for him, even cried when he left the room. The staff watched, whispering, "Why him?" Children sense things adults couldn't. One evening, as thunder echoed outside, Ethan invited Rosa to sit. "Tell me the truth," he said gently. "Why does Lily know me?" Tears filled Rosa's eyes instantly. She clutched the necklace around her neck, shaking. "I didn't want things to be like this," she whispered. "I never planned for her to meet you." Ethan's heart pounded. "Meet me? Rosa, what are you saying?" She looked at him, trembling like a leaf. "Because you knew her mother." Ethan felt the air leave his lungs. His past crashed into him, the fiancée who disappeared, leaving nothing but a goodbye note that never made sense. "You mean, my Anna," he whispered. Rosa nodded slowly. "She wasn't your fiancée, sir, she was my sister." Ethan froze. He couldn't breathe. Anna, a maid's sister. Anna, the woman who loved him deeply but carried a secret she'd never shared. She didn't leave because she wanted to, Rosa continued through tears. She left because she found out she was pregnant. She was scared, she thought you wouldn't accept her because she wasn't from your world, because she wasn't rich enough. She was going to tell you, but, her voice broke. She died giving birth to Lily. Ethan felt the world tilt beneath him. His hands shook violently. The baby in the crib giggled softly, reaching toward him as if sensing his pain. She's my daughter," he whispered. Rosa covered her mouth, sobbing. "Yes, sir. I tried to take care of her, but she never connected with anyone. Except you. The moment she saw you, she recognized you, as if Anna lived in her heart." Ethan picked up Lily with trembling hands. The little girl touched his cheek again, smiling the same smile Anna used to give him under the old oak tree behind the mansion. His eyes filled with tears he hadn't allowed himself to shed in years. "My baby, my little Lily," he whispered, voice cracking. Lily giggled, pressing her forehead to his. Rosa watched helplessly, guilt washing over her. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I didn't tell you because I thought you'd take her away from me. She's all I have left of my sister." Ethan shook his head gently. "Rosa, you raised my daughter when I didn't even know she existed. You gave her love, a home, your whole life." He walked to her and put a hand on her shoulder. "I don't want to take Lily away from you. I want us to take care of her together." Rosa burst into tears of relief, collapsing into a chair. For the first time, Ethan saw her not as his maid but as a woman who sacrificed everything for family. Days passed, and something magical happened. The mansion, once cold and silent, filled with life. Lily took her first steps between Ethan's arms and Rosa's cheering. Her laughter echoed down hallways where only loneliness lived before. Ethan rearranged meetings, shortened business trips, even learned how to feed her, change her, and rock her to sleep. But the moment that changed everything came one evening when Lily toddled toward him, calling out her very first word, "Dada." Ethan fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face as he scooped her into his arms, promising to give her every ounce of love he had left. Rosa stood behind him, hand over her mouth, crying silently. In that moment, they weren't Maid and Millionaire. They were family, broken pieces glued back together by a baby who knew where she belonged long before the adults did. And as Ethan tucked Lily into bed that night, he whispered to her, "You saved me, my angel. You brought your mother back to me." Then he turned to the camera of his office security system, speaking more to the world than himself. If you're watching this, never ignore the people fate places in your life. They might be the ones who change everything. And dear viewers, if this story touched your heart, if you believe destiny connects souls in ways we can't explain, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because more life-changing stories are coming, stories that will inspire you, break you, rebuild you, and remind you that miracles can appear in the tiniest hands.